Good evening, short story writers. Today's prompt, short and sweet, comes from again the news. The news is a rich source of story prompts and story ideas. If you're prepared to do a little bit of Edward de Bono on them. So, this is inspired by the fact that, quote, they're not sure, they variously called it a planet and a meteorite and an asteroid. Which one is it? Planet means wanderer, apparently, in ancient Greek, and the others mean other things in possibly ancient Greek. Who knows? Anyway, the point is that yes, you could go for the obvious that it crashes to Earth and disaster ensues, or that it's visible in the sky like the transit of Venus, and people gather outside and ooh and ah, and there are beautiful moments. I'm thinking of something which is one step further than that, which is that comets apparently bring viruses, and therefore, if comets do, then why not meteorites? Viruses are presumably carbon based. My science isn't totally fantastic on this, and they're almost alive, but they need something from living DNA to complete it. A bit like a jigsaw puzzle which is missing one piece. So something which we consider to fulfill the requirements of life provides that bit of DNA and it becomes alive, and it has a little bit of a party in the organism, and then it mutates. That's the trick, you see. It mutates and then it moves on. Now, are viruses always bad? Well, do you like tulips? Because tulips should be very plain and boring, but all those ones which are, the word is variegated, they are different colours, that is the result of a virus. So what if this meteorite, the size of a bus, passing by the Earth and won't be back until 2041, see, I retain things occasionally. What if it brought a virus which had some nice effect? Now, you could go for plants being mutated in some way, not just the colour, but maybe they become more delicious. We get a more delicious carrot. Or what if it mutated and instead of bringing down, let's go with the obvious, bats. No, spiders, okay, nobody likes spiders. But what if this targeted spiders and it made them all so cute and beautiful and everybody loved them and they started petting them? Okay, so that is, I guess, a science fiction stroke, comic horror stroke, fantasy idea. What would be a literary fiction idea? Now, before anybody says, but it's science, you can't write literary fiction. Literary fiction's about people going buying flowers called Mrs. Dalloway, innit? No, it doesn't have to be, because I remind you that Frankenstein was written in a literary manner, and there's not really very much of a horror nature in it. There certainly isn't very much science. It was based on the fact that after the Battle of Waterloo, there were teams of people going around extracting the teeth from the dead soldiers to sell as dentures, and they used to push them, implant them into the gums of people who needed new teeth. And this struck the young Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley in a big way, and she wrote Frankenstein, or Prometheus Unbound, as a result of a dare during the plague. Weirdly enough, there were coronavirus-like symptoms. What plague it was, I'm not sure, but some of the romantic poets, Shelley and Byron, possibly Keats, I'm not sure if he was still alive at that point, they were in Switzerland, and they had a bet that they couldn't write. They did a NaNoWriMo. They were going to write a novel, and she was the only one that did, and that was what she wrote, ending up more famous in some ways than her husband, who wrote Ode to Autumn. Anyway, The point is that, yes, there have been quite a few works of literary fiction which dwell on the interaction of human beings and their reactions to scientific events. And in fact, I hate to keep harking on about some of the choices that I had to read for my MA, but there were one or two there which contained supernatural scenes. People, we knew what they were thinking after death. They were visited. And what about Hamlet? He's visited by a ghost. There's supernatural stuff in Macbeth, so yeah, it's perfectly doable. We don't say, no, I don't like that Shakespeare play. It's got some ghosts in it, as if that could possibly happen. The ghost appears twice in Hamlet. And then there's The Tempest. That's all kind of a bit supernaturally been made into a science fiction film. So embrace your fears if you are thinking, I don't want to write this. Nobody's making you write it. You're here because you want ideas, and that is it. A virus which brings benign results. It's going to be a story where you're going to have to manufacture a problem out of nice things. Not possible? Really? How about eating too much chocolate? How about, I would say cocktails are rather nice, but you can have a few too many, can't you? And they become a problem. Sweeties? Puddings? You can have too much of a good thing sometimes. Right. I'll leave that with you. That's your prompt. Yeah. Your problem could be finding a name for the comet. Asteroid, meteorite, moon, planet. Because it rejoices in the name of something like WD 2020. The 2020 obviously is a year, but it implies there's going to be a WD next year, and there was one last year. And I did steal WD from WD-40, yes. Okay. Have fun with it, and if you find it useful, hit the like and subscribe button, please. Bye.